It is the GCS. Welcome to the GCS this morning. Obviously, I'm not Gareth. Now, that is important for people to
So
note.
it's just the S. It's not the GCS.
Well said. That listen, those dulcet tones are Leigh-Ann Mole, the now world famous Leigh-Ann Mole, by the way. Leigh-Ann, beloved in a nation, raised the generation. Leigh-Ann Mole, how are you doing?
What can I say? Poor nation. If they were raised by me,
You
you
know what,
know.
Leanne, you've just given me an out. If I do meet somebody who I'm like, oh my word, why you like that? Do you know Leanne Mole? Did you listen to 5 to 10?
Yes. You can blame it on me. I don't
Yeah,
mind.
I
Blame it
fully
on me.
intend to. I fully intend to. I don't like taking responsibility. For those of you joining us on YouTube, Gareth is he's on the East Coast and he's just taking a day to go and refresh. You know, the sea salt sort of puts things back into people. Apparently, Leanne.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know if the temperature is going to be any better today, but yesterday was a scorcher in Durban. I mean, there were just from people I know who live there. They said, I'm going to be offline because of electricity. And I thought, I've caught you out because there's no load shedding. And they said, no, no, no. These it's like substations are exploding in the heat.
Oh, you're joking.
Apparently, yeah, apparently it was really, really hot. I was watching a live video as well of all the revelers in the sea on Durban Beach. And it was full, man, on a random Thursday morning. People were hanging out, just enjoying it. But yeah, apparently it's a scosher. So who knows what Garrett's going through. And interestingly enough, yesterday in Cape Town was absolutely freezing. So it was literally a country of all seasons. I was involved in a meeting with people in Cape Town and Durban, and I was sitting in a flowery dress here in Joburg. Durban was schwitzing and using a mop to their foreheads, and Cape Town were decked out in ski gear.
Oh yeah, yeah. I am in Cape Town. I'm actually in Cape Town right now,
Okay,
and
so you're in ski gear, I see.
listen, and I took a run up Table Mountain yesterday. Phew, brutal,
Oh, just a
bad
quick run
decision.
up Table Mountain.
Absolutely freezing, absolutely freezing. So, yeah. Hey, Leah, I mean, for our international listeners, they might not know what like Durban is like, where Gareth is now. He'll be listening into the show. Is maybe give them a picture of the Durban vibe. Johannesburg. If we are sort of a watered down New York, but let's just say we are sort of New York, the engine that drives this thing in terms of the economy. How would you describe Durban and where Gareth is now?
Florida. I would
Oh,
say Florida. Florida vibes, definitely. Cape Town would be more like California vibes.
yeah, yeah. You've done
Um,
yeah. I think you've nailed it.
and
You've
like
been concise there.
yeah, with the wine fields, with the wine farms and all of that sort of thing. Durban, very relaxed, very chilled. Um, but yeah, some really amazing creative people coming out of Durban. But I think that's because they're probably in a more relaxed mindset. In Joburg, we're
Yeah.
too busy, like just doing the 9 to 5, man, the grind.
So, so it's something that's always interested, as we've worked together over the last 2 years. It's something that's interested me that you haven't made that move to sort of a Cape Town Durban, because the vibe I've always gotten off you is like you just like to be chilled. You're more of a chilled person than Joburg. Am I reading that correctly or
Well,
not?
I did do a Cape Town move. I lived there for 2 years, a year in Cork Bay and a year in McGregor. McGregor, I wouldn't say is Cape Cape Town. It's more Winelands, Little Karoo vibes. But yes, if I were to choose a lifestyle, that would be it. Absolutely. But sometimes I know you should be the master of your own destiny and choices, but you do have to be realistic and see what you've been dealt with and the cards you've been
Mm,
dealt. And, for me, my family's in Joburg. Um, there unfortunately are better money making opportunities in Joburg. Cape Town's a close second. But
Yeah.
yes, I see Corona's boring comments that Gareth's place in Durban is more like Hawaii. Yeah, I would say that. Definitely. So what are you doing in Cape
where
Town at
Gareth
the
lives?
moment? No,
So I'm
where
working.
he is now. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. So I'm working at the Cape Town Marathon. So yeah, it's like the premium running event in terms of road running anyway, in Africa. So I'm here as I'll be doing the press conference a little bit later, in and around people that have never had body fat in their whole lives, Leigh-Ann. So, road runners are just, like negative body fat. So we've got
Yes.
the elite press conference in about a couple of hours, 11 o'clock. I'll be doing that. And then tomorrow, is the trail run. So I'll be emceeing and be the guy on the finish line for that. And then Sunday's the big dance with all the ridiculously fast humans.
So hang on now, that you say trail run and not trial run. So is the marathon, I don't understand.
Okay, so let me
spoon
explain
feed me.
And it's very humble of you to say that. People don't often say, I don't know. So trail run is the mountain run. So that tomorrow's 46K mountain run and 21K mountain run, right? So that's where they run up a mountain, Table Mountain, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday is the road marathon. Yeah. So that's So it's two completely different races, same event, but two completely different marathons.
So will there be runners who do both?
No, absolutely not, Leigh-Ann. Not at this level. Maybe but there will be. There are people who will do the 46K tomorrow and do the 42K on Sunday. Yeah, but it won't be elite.
To
none of the elite guys. None of the elite.
As opposed to the what K.
Well, I mean, you can do sort of. Runners like to challenge themselves, so it'll be like a cool thing to say, "Oh, I did the 46K and a marathon the next day." But that'll be just Joe Blows like me who just are enthusiastic about running, not guys who expect to place top 10, like the top guys. It just takes too much to be at the top. You can't do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. It's blowing my mind. I'm actually feeling a little bit nauseous. I don't know if I drank my water too quickly this morning. But yeah, I've actually gone a bit hot. My face has gone a bit hot. I feel like menopausal flushes.
I hear you.
And it's all because of running up a mountain in my head.
Yeah, no, it's listen, it's not for everyone. But listen, I got to tell you something that yesterday I had like a flashback where I became a triple. People think I'm a douchebag in normal life, and then I'm Cape Town. I don't know if you know, like the douchebag factor in Cape Town is just a little bit higher. It's just that little bit more turned up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you've got to appear cliquey, even though you're not there with friends. You're not in a clique.
100%. Like 100%, because I had to take my laptop, which is a Mac. It's it's a company Mac, and I had to go and sit at like a bougie coffee shop that I walked past. I had to walk in and be the guy with his earphones working there, and just I'll have my cappuccino with. Sorry, what kind of milk do you have? Okay, almond. Yes. I'll have almond milk. Excuse me, everybody. I'm having an almond milk coffee. I got sucked into being Capetonian.
Yeah, but you've also got to pretend that you've lived there forever.
Oh,
yeah. You can't like stand back and take a photograph of the coffee shop and go, "Wow, that's cool." You've just got to be in it, and like maybe find a photo online, because you need to pretend that you've seen it every day for the last 3 weeks.
And Capetonians, you've nailed it, right? People in Cape Town have their own language to explain to people. It's like, so people always say, which side of the mountain do you live on? So obviously that means you're either in the southern suburbs or you're on the Atlantic seaboard, basically, is what they're talking about. And they just, and so the difference between people in Johannesburg is that, Leigh-Ann, you'll drive, I would imagine, to a friend's house. You're happy to drive 45 minutes for supper on a Wednesday evening, right?
Pre-COVID, yes, but now I've become a little more. But yes, I understand exactly where you're going.
People in Cape Town, if they have to drive from sort of the Atlantic seaboard where I'm staying, and they have to go to the southern suburbs, so that's about a 20-minute drive at most without traffic at night. If that has to happen, it's a sleepover, and I'm coming on Friday. Because
yeah.
And the weather's so different on that side of the mountain. So it's been incredible to be around
No,
these
it's
incredible
very
animals we
true.
call Capetonians, and it's awesome.
I mean, just
Go
working
ahead.
in the PR industry as I did for a while, when we hosted media events in the good old days before COVID, in Joburg, you could host them anywhere between, I don't know, um, closer to the city centre or somewhere in Fourways, and journalists would arrive. In Cape Town, you have to kind of see which journalists are on your media list, where they live or work, and host the event there. Otherwise, they're not coming. So yeah, but it's again, it's all relativity. I mean, you don't need to travel very long distances in Cape Town, and so that becomes the 20K becomes Joburg's 45K.
Yeah. Hey, Leigh-Ann, you know what I've always enjoyed about the way you look at the world is that you really do sort of put yourself in other people's shoes, and I think we're very different, and I think it makes it very interesting for me is that you are a very feeling person. Is you really feel your feelings, if that makes any sense. And
I'm an
I wanted
empath,
to
really.
be, and yeah, you certainly are. I wanted to ask you this is I was thinking about how we work now, especially how my world before I came to Cliff Central was doing what I'm doing now, being at events and sort of speaking in public, right? And I was wondering your sort of how do you think being able to be mobile and work anywhere has affected you and like other people? I'd love to know. I'd love to know whether now that with what you're saying, whether now you could move to Durban and you've realized you could live in Belito, and still do what you do, or do you think people are still going
Yeah,
to just revert back to the old ways?
I think uh, uh, I think yes, people are realizing that, and it's absolutely fantastic that we're able to do our jobs from different places. If I look, I mean, I have many jobs, and one of them currently, if I look at that job in particular, it's working for a digital marketing agency in the UK. And most of us are on the team from South Africa, but again, Cape Town, Durban, Joburg. There are many who are we've got a team member in Portugal, we've got team members in America. And, for me, it's always been a dream to go and settle somewhere in Portugal along the coast. And this event has made me realize that I can do that if I want to. And I think a
Mm,
lot of people are realizing that and perhaps might be living out their dreams, which is amazing. But again, you need to be realistic. And I think for a lot of people, they might have family members in certain places that, you can't relocate your whole family. And certainly as you get older, and, we've been speaking to some people who've immigrated to New Zealand or Australia or Canada. And the big realization as you leave as a young person with a young family, and after 20 years you realize that your family back in Joburg or Durban is aging, um, and you're now stuck not being able to get to them as easily as you could. So I think
yeah.
as I've got older, I've realized the importance of being near family members as they age. um, so you do have some restrictions in that regard. Um, but certainly, if you don't have any ties or responsibilities, wow, to be able to just work anywhere or be a nomad would be fantastic.
And like I was just thinking for foreigners how attractive, especially like this new reality, and you've really put it beautifully, Leigh, is that how attractive South Africa would be to live if, again, I mean, we've kind of seen that movement anyway with Germans and sort of Brits who just cannot get enough of Hermanus and Cape Town and just coming to live here. But I was chatting to somebody extremely successful last night. I went to maybe one of the nicest houses in the history of mankind yesterday for supper. Um, and
Oh, lucky
I
you.
was talking to this. Yeah, no, but like, hey, Leigh-Ann, people are doing things out here. It is, yeah, no, palatial, insane, like actually insane. But, and we were talking about how the dynamics of economics could change, which is extremely boring stuff. My point is, like, imagine how many Brits and Spanish people will bring their euros over here and just not even live here seasonally. Just, I'm going to live in Africa for 5 years. So he said some exciting things to me in terms of people are just going to look for like life value, because you can get that in South Africa, and we've got fiber here as well. Like, and you don't have to live in grim situations, and even if your parents are aging, like, it's different now. You can FaceTime them and maybe fly them in once a year to the bliss of Cape Town, to the bliss of of Durban or whatever, and it costs you a tenth of what it would, 15 years ago. So I'm really, really excited after last night's conversation about this country. Actually, super excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's already evident in many towns and cities in South Africa. And again, I think back to McGregor. Unfortunately, McGregor is one of those old Western Cape towns, or village rather, that was built around the apartheid era and still structurally and infrastructurally sits in a position where apartheid is clear. Now, don't get me wrong, anybody is allowed to live on any side of the street. It's literally one side of the town and the other. You're allowed to move around as much as you like. There are no restrictions. But certain communities they want to stay in their sectors. They're happy there. They've built their lives there. They've built schools there and community centers. And so if you look at the one side of the town, it's populated mostly by people from the UK. Older people from the UK who've now come to retire and live a farm life. And it's interesting because in the UK, there's plenty of farm life. There's plenty of idyllic green pastures and villages that you can settle in. But again, South Africa offers something different. It offers a different lifestyle. And it's a lot of these people from the UK who've now come into the village and brought in their money and revamped buildings and injected life into certain parts, which is absolutely amazing to see. And I think that'll continue. Now, it really will.
Well, I mean, you've said something. You know what, Leigh-Ann? I don't know if anybody's ever told you this. You're basically the Warren Buffett of your time, because Warren Buffett basically has an economic principle that you've just put in a way more interesting fashion than he did. And he says price is what you pay, value is what you get. And I think that's what this pandemic is going to bring out. Like you say, those British people, there is farm life there. There is pasture out there. But then it's also grim for 8 months of the year. Where's the quality of life then?
Yeah. Weather has a lot to do with it.
Oh my God!
Something as simple as weather.
Yeah, no, it's true. And speaking of this, Leigh-Ann, is that I'm pretty sure you've noticed this, and are people starting to spend more as well? Like because South Africans, you know how we are. You know how South Africans are. Hey, we've been, by South African standards, on our best behavior for 2 years now. Like, by South African standards. Are you kidding me, Cyril? You are so lucky. We're the best children ever. We deserve some pocket money now. And are people starting to spend more now? Like that's something I'd love to hear about.
Definitely. So I happened upon this interesting article. I must just say before I get into it, this article's from Sowetan Live. I'm enjoying Sowetan Live's content so much. As a journalist, I try and find the best sources. Obviously, Sowetan Live is under the Times Live umbrella, but they seem to fall upon these gems of stories, which I think is amazing. So yes, we see actual stats in the story on spending in South Africa. And what's amazing is that consumer spending is recovering better than expected and faster than expected after lockdown, and especially now that the regulations have eased. And if you look at spending year on year, consumer spending is showing strong recovery in these particular places, which is where we need them. Telecommunications and internet services, entertainment, yay. Groceries, health and well-being is a big one. I mean, that took a complete step aside when it came to organizing what we needed to spend on and prioritizing. And another category which shows to me that our lives are changing for the better is animal and pet related categories. As soon as you've got money
so spending's up.
Yes, spending's up. Strong recovery. Entertainment has gone up. Entertainment spending has gone up by 52%, which is just amazing. So, I mean, if you look at those categories, groceries we can't do without. Telecommunications and internet services, especially now, we can't do without. But the other three are showing me that we are finally recovering: entertainment, health and well-being, and animal and pet related. Health and well-being, it goes without say, should be spent on, but a lot of people won't go for that dentist checkup if they're, not able to buy groceries.
But the health and wellness thing is a very, very interesting thing to me. Do you think because of COVID, some people have consciously gone, because you know how we are as people, it's like we'll kind of muck about until you say the D word, right? Death. Once death is a possibility, we tend to take things a little more seriously. Do you think because of kind of COVID, when people are scared, they tend to go, oh my God, what if COVID happens again? I want to get in better shape. And like you said, I got to get my gums fixed because that might affect me in the future if we get sick again. Or do you just think people have been sitting at home long enough to go, oh my word, number one, I am gaining weight and I don't like what I look like? Well, what do you think that's come from?
I think it's purely if you look at the amount of job losses that took place over COVID and the job shuffling we've had to do. People have had to reinvent themselves and start from scratch, in their 30s and 40s. People have had to put aside what they studied and what their lives were based on. Or if they didn't study, let's say they had restaurant businesses, they've had to reinvent themselves completely. And doing that takes money and time and effort and concentration. And it means that other things fall to the wayside. So yes, you will be visiting your doctor if you're sick. You will be going for that COVID test if you need to go for it. You will be going through your inoculations. But certainly you might not be going for your annual gynae visit. You might not be going for your 6-monthly dentist appointment.
No, I'm not going for my annual gynae visit.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Well,
it's just because I don't have the money.
Well, now you can, because things have changed.
Oh, okay.
So you can go and get your pipes checked out.
What a delight. It's just it's a little cold though when the doctor puts the tool between the legs.
Yeah. I mean, that's like for another whole story. But and things like, you haven't needed new glasses in a while, but it's been okay. Now, now you can go and do those things, now that people are in a better financial position. I just think it's so positive. I mean, we've really been to hell and back. And to see people spending money on pets and entertainment and health is just amazing.
Yeah, like you know what I like? I think we've hit rock bottom. It's time to get the economy going, and now we have no choice. We have no choice. We cannot deal with the effects of it going forward, But it is Friday, so let's not head down the sort of political route. We actually want to just keep it light to that. If you're joining us now, right, you're wondering, where is the Lego hair, handsome-faced Gareth Cliff? And you've got Leigh-Ann. By the way, if you're not watching on YouTube, Leigh-Ann's lipstick is incredible. It's top 5 class. It's class. Gareth has driven off, and he's listening from the East Coast. He is in eThekwini, just taking the day off and the weekend off. He's recharging, so he'll be back with us. I will be back with you on Monday. So just a little update there. And we got a little special coming up today. So one of the funniest human beings I think South Africa's ever produced is going to join us in a little bit. Chris Forrest. Did you ever watch Pure Manati show, by the way, before Chris comes on?
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's called PMS, by the way, the acronym there being PMS. Incredible show. And that's where I know Chris from. I've never met him. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, but isn't he hilarious though? Leigh-Ann, I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Absolutely love him. Yeah. Love him. Just seeing him in a 30-second advert gets me going. It's the facial expressions. It's everything. It's gold. I love it.
Before we get Chris on, is one of my absolute favorites, right? And you got something for us on Shatner, right? Well, William Shatner is one of my favorite human beings that has ever existed. And something's come out, and you wanted to talk about, and I read the story.
Yes.
Yeah, well, what you got for us there, Liam?
So, I mean, I loved William Shatner in Boston Legal. That was where I really got to know him as a character. And that was from years and years and years ago. And I remember he apparently started losing his mind a little bit, and wasn't quite all there. And I thought, well, this is sad. It's age. These things happen. And for a while, I, didn't think about him, or just kind of wrote him off in terms of being able to see him in Hollywood films or in series or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I was surprised to see that he was sent up into space just the other day. He boarded Jeff Bezos's rocket, and they shot him up into space. And you could watch the whole thing in about an 8-minute clip, from him being suited up in the back of a car being driven by Jeff, onto the, I don't know, launch pad, taking the elevator up, Jeff practically pushing him into a tiny window, him popping out on the other side, getting comfortable, and off this rocket goes, which is just amazing to watch. I know that we've seen it because it's happened before, but just to see it happen again is just so amazing and so quick. I mean, it's like getting onto a Mango flight and going to George. It's just it's even shorter than that. And yeah, so off he went with a couple of other people. And when the landing occurs, it's now been reduced to I don't know the terminology, but the shaft has gone and it's just the head that remains where they're all sitting in.
No, I think it's,
and this thing, something like that. And this thing comes back down to earth with 2 little parachutes, and it's a big piece of cement. And when it hits the earth, let me tell you, it's a huge thud. I mean, I would need to probably have my neck put in a brace after that. And I thought, what condition is this old man going to be in when they finally open up this door? And there they are in the field, any boss. When Jeff Bezos is there and he's opening up the door, the recovery crew, they call them. And I'm like, damn right, you need recovery. Opens up the window. Out pops William. He kind of stretches out his back and stands up, and he looks absolutely fine. And then we hear from him for the first time. And there's this little teary interview, which was really amazing. He's standing just chatting to Jeff, and this is being filmed. The dust is still settling around him. And he's just like so grateful for this experience that he's been given, and says it was the best experience of his life, and describes how for him it was being in the blue, which is in the sky, which is all of our reference as earthlings. Is the sky is above us and the earth is beneath our feet. It's the blue above us and the brown and green beneath our feet. And he said how quickly it went from blue to black. And all of a sudden he was out of the blue and in the black. And he said he associated everything above him, the blackness and the darkness and the unknown. He had a feeling of death around it. He said, I don't know what's in there, but it felt like there could be death. There could be tragedy. There could be horrible things. And then you look down and you see this beautiful blue and green familiarity. And you know that is home, that this earth is our home. And it's, compared to the feeling of darkness above you, this welcoming glow beneath you, and coming back into that, he said it was almost tangible. Like it's a soft, puffy goodness that earth is.
God, he is so dramatic, William Shatner. Speaking, listen, a great man. Speaking of a great man, joining us now is one of the funniest humans to ever walk on this fantastic planet, Chris, you know what, Chris? I got to tell you, right?
Yes.
I'm feeling very insecure because I like to be the funniest person wherever I am, and I don't have a sense of humor, but I do like to be the funniest person in the room. And having you on is an absolute privilege and an honor, Chris. How are you doing? And you've come in actually at headlines time.
Oh, well, fantastic. I have headlined once or twice in my career. And I'm glad you just compared me to William Shatner. That was, we do, a lot of people say we look the same. So that's nice. Thank you for that.
But you see, they'll just group any bald white men into the same category, you know.
When you say they,
Society, the same people who say you look like William Shatner.
I've just never done a police drama. It's weird. You were talking about when you first swam. I became a William Shatner fan watching TJ Hooker, of all things, in Afrikaans.
Oh,
so I didn't understand what he was saying. I just thought he was
yeah,
super cool.
Hooker.
Yeah, Hooker. So, but I don't know. I think they still called it TJ, even though it was Radio 2000. Remember the Kurt Schoenraad's got a great thing about how they just translated the scripts. And then sometimes they would say to a foreigner, they would say, "Praat jy Engels?" But yes, that's my TJ Hooker, because I was never a Trekkie until my teenage years.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't watch him doing the whole space thing and being Captain Kirk, I must admit. It was definitely in his later career that I only became a real fan.
Yes, and he became funky. He was good on the Big Bang Theory as well. You said you said you met him. He was out here for like Comic-Con or something a few years ago.
No, I didn't say I met him. What were you listening to?
Different.
Maybe you really are like William Shatner.
I haven't had enough coffee yet. Oh no, I thought you said you met him. No, because if memory serves me, he was here for Comic-Con, and then he did do he did a talk and whatever, and there were enough people here to be excited about it.
Sorry, Chris, as I came on. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
sorry, I know as I came on, you ruined everything. You literally, your alpha sort of just crushed my technology, and now I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation after I gave you that incredible intro. So
I thought you said like there's headlines or something. I thought you went to go and deliver headlines, like if you had another job or something. You were just, or maybe you just needed to read the paper, and you're like, okay, good, yeah, now I can read the paper for a bit.
Yeah,
No,
Molelo's got a very strict schedule. When it's
Yes.
headlines time, he has to drop his actual job and go and sit on the loo and read the headlines in the newspaper.
Well, I think we all do. I've already done it, for the record.
Well, actually, there are children on the street that need to know the headlines. I didn't tell you that part. That the headline time it's headline time for somebody, and there are children on the street, and I had to go and tell them quickly. But now I'm back, and I'm
stand outside. I'm guessing. Do you live in a complex?
No. I'm actually. Don't ask. It's a very triggering situation. I got scammed into the worst Airbnb situation you could ever imagine, where it was presented as though I'm going to live in my own apartment while I'm here for the weekend. I'm in Cape Town, by the way, Chris. Obviously, better lattes and everything down here. Let's not get into it. Yeah, right. And but I'm in somebody's house like I'm a small child, and it was a complete lie and a scam. So yeah, thanks for asking, Chris, and really triggering me off on this Friday morning.
No, that's fine. No, I was wondering which children you were shouting to on the streets. If you're in Cape Town,
children.
Camp Spade, they put it in cars. You had to shout a little bit louder to penetrate that German glass.
All right, Chris, it's awesome to have you here. Let's get some news headlines going. All right, a Ghanaian artist created a haunting sculptures of slaves in Accra Lake. Now, this is an interesting one. What do we think of art that goes, before we get into that, what do we think of art that brings and speaks to those kinds of times, Chris? I mean, your art makes people uncomfortable. Stand-up comedy is really a poke at all of us, right?
Well, sometimes it makes people laugh, but generally audiences do. Especially my agent. You should see how uncomfortable she gets when on stage. I think art is supposed to be this thing that makes us think, and if it doesn't make you uncomfortable and it doesn't trigger some sort of emotion, then what's the point of it? Well, I don't know. I've got some art here. If you guys all, I nearly stood up and gave you a crotch shot. So I haven't quite interpreted this one yet, but I think it's quite.
Oh goodness!
Okay.
I don't know if it's not quite the Ghanaian slaves, but
No.
I think let me describe it for those who can't see. It's very tastefully done.
yes,
and it's there's I think the medium used here was paper and Koki pen.
Paper and Koki pen, yes. And then
it's very whimsical, and I might, I don't want to offend anyone, but it may have been done by a youth, someone below the age of 10, I'd say.
It's actually a Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock, yeah, that's it.
All right, a young Jackson Pollock. But,
and it's of 3 people and looks like holding strings of balloons.
I'm quite certain that there's a 4th person.
Oh, there is.
There.
There is a blob.
And then we started off actually trying to do a silhouette picture, if you're wondering what that was. And then the black Koki ran out. I mean, they decided to change symbolism.
Yeah, yes. No, that's all right. Well, that's one piece of art. Let's see what Ghanaian artist Kwame Akoto Bamfo, who has created haunting sculptures of slaves in a lake in memory of the African ancestors who drowned as they were being transported across the Atlantic Ocean as slaves. I mean, sure. There's no really easy way to palette that one, huh? That is sure.
No, probably far more moving than my child's picture that I just showed you. But yes. Going back, yeah. I think it is important because you've got to document these things as well. Like if you, it's not like we can just forget about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a great point. Yeah. So that's that headline there. In an interesting one, Eskom seeks cheap funding for 400 billion energy plan. Eskom Holdings is proposing a highly concessional financing plan to help build about 400 billion of energy infrastructure to help the power utility move away from the use of coal, according to the company use. So basically, that's just Eskom trying to. I'm interested. Go ahead.
We're all seeking cheap funding.
Who's seeking expensive funding?
Yeah, I want the most expensive funding. Charge me interest. So well done, Eskom, on that. I think whoever's in charge there now is obviously smart because they chose cheap funding as something to look for. It's quite important that you do that. And I'm glad they're moving away from coal because it keeps getting wet. So
it's one of those things, nature.
It happens. It rains. If only there was some sort of waterproof kind of structure we could put on top of the coal.
Something like, I would call it, if I had to make one of those, just say in my dreams, I would call it like a roof.
A roof. That's a good name. Like,
I don't like where you guys are going here. It sounds a little ridiculous.
Do you know what they could do? You know what they could do? Like I think is it Macro that in their parking lots, all their like sort of roofs are made of this solar power material.
Yeah.
And then that could make the coal dry. And then they could use that solar power to maybe even power macros or something. I don't know.
That sounds like you're suggesting that Eskom should have a plan to have surplus of their core offering, which is electricity, which you're suggesting a bit of a solution there from what I've heard, Chris.
No. I just thought that would be cool, and it would keep their cars full as well. And then obviously, because I feel that Eskom may be, they're the most change their business model slightly because they're the only producer of anything that I know of that tells their customers please use less, and then says we're not selling enough, so we're going to charge you more. I'm not sure. I did business management very briefly in the late 90s. And I'm not sure if I would concur with that, but I did only do business management 1 and 2. I didn't do 3, so you never know.
I mean, the people at Eskom have done 3. So, well, I mean, clearly
they did. They hired a guy. They hired a guy to be in charge who was from Nampak, which is a packaging company, if I'm not mistaken. And so maybe he could get some sort of plastic sheet to cover the coal.
You see,
from his old colleagues at Nampak, they've got some wonderful stuff there.
I've always believed there are no bad ideas in brainstorming, and it's awesome to have minds like yourself and Leigh-Ann to really drive this country forward in terms of, well, I don't know, maybe keeping my lava lamp on so that I can have better dreams at night. You know what I mean?
That is important. I mean, can you sleep without a lava lamp, and that actually promotes your own creativity, and then maybe that'll promote your good ideas, and then you could think of some sort of a power mechanism where we could say get electricity from the sun.
Hey, great segue. That's great segue to our next headline, by the way. In terms of talking about power, a guy called Jacob Msholozi Zuma has said jailing me was unconstitutional. As he spoke for the first time, he was speaking at a prayer service in Durban on Thursday to welcome him home. So former President Jacob Zuma said imprisonment was the equivalent of what happened under apartheid, where people were jailed without trial. He was speaking at a prayer service. And I mean, it's sort of, listen, that's kind of enough hearing from Zuma. But our thoughts on Jacob Zuma saying, being at a prayer service and being welcomed home, and him saying it was unconstitutional?
Well, being at a prayer service, I know he is quite a strict abide by the 10 Commandments guy. So obviously, he's
definitely
it's a perfect fit. And I mean, he's not been one to stretch the truth at all. So when he says it's unconstitutional, I mean, it's not like they warned him, like they said to him, if you don't appear, we're going to arrest you. And so obviously he's got a good point there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you wish you were as free as that guy? Hey, like just like he's free, isn't he?
He's
in everywhere.
Like, I just wish I had that guy's zero fucks given sort of mentality. Like absolutely. And then it's pretty, I mean, he's smart in terms of his rhetoric and oration. Is that the word? Gareth, when you need somebody to help with big words. And so
he's in Durban. I don't believe in joking around.
Was he at the prayer? Did he go down for the prayer thing and the welcome?
Yes,
that's why he's actually emceeing it. Yeah, he's emceeing. Yeah, he's emceeing the prayer session, and it'll go straight into sort of the apartheid. Do you like how Msholozi said it was like apartheid?
Yes. Well,
that's unbelievable, isn't he?
In a lot of people, that triggers a lot of memories. You know,
exactly.
So obviously there's a group of people who are like, wow, that's cool. We really enjoyed that time. And there's a lot of people who didn't. They thought it was shit, to be honest. I'd say most people thought it was shit in South Africa.
Yeah. No.
But,
a lot of people thought that. Hey,
I think that's his target audience. I think that's who he was playing to when he said it was like apartheid. He was trying to say it was bad, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I think most half-decent people have decided that apartheid, not our proudest moment. Speaking of someone else who's been shit, is let's talk about Coldplay.
You just got from Jacob Zuma to Coldplay. Very similar.
Yeah.
Because he also sings.
Listen. Yeah. What does Msholozi says? Uyandi bambezela mshini wam. Yeah. So yeah. That's
very similar.
That's very, very true. But Coldplay are doing a thing where they you know what? Eskom could use Coldplay, actually, and Msholozi in his time should have gone to Coldplay, because their next tour, and there is some backlash already over this, but Coldplay's next tour will partly be powered by a dance floor that generates electricity when fans jump up and down, and pedal power at the venues. It's part of a 12-point plan to cut their carbon footprint 2 years after the band pledged not to tour until they could do so in a more sustainable way. Singer Chris Martin told the BBC in his first interview about the plans, he will be sort of starting a kinetic flooring system. When they move the power, they will power the concert. And we have bicycles too that do the same thing. Now, before I get your comments on that, Chris obviously allowed his child by a lady who produced candles that have the scent of a vagina. He allowed a child to be called Apple. So for that, I will never forgive him. I will never forgive Chris Martin for that. But this is not bad, right? What he's doing here, I think we've all agreed now, burning sort of coal and all of those sorts of, burning coal and children to power plants and create electricity, not a great thing. The pollution awful.
Did you say burning coal and children?
A small children, though, not like big, not like 7-year-olds. Small, like 3-year-olds.
Does it matter to him if it's vagina-scented coal?
Oh no. But clearly, the whole Gwyneth Paltrow relationship has had an impact on him. Look, I'm all for it. I think that
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing. I think that concerts can be a big waste of electricity and resources. But powering it by itself, I think it's genius. I love the idea.
I think it's a great idea, although I do feel he overestimates his fans' enthusiasm. Like I remember going to the Rustlers Festival a while ago, and I'm all for the kinetic dance floor, but like, can you imagine you paid like however $800 for Golden Circle tickets, and you're like, okay, well, I'm a bit too close to the stage, and I'm bored of standing. I want to go sit on a bicycle and enjoy Coldplay while I pedal. Like,
who's dancing to Coldplay, by the way? Who's dancing to come
you know
out
what
to meet you,
you're being unfair, but
I drew
yes.
a line.
Yeah.
I drew
it's
a
not
line
high
for
energy
you, and all the pedaling you do. And
it's not high energy kinetic dancing that one's expecting.
Like, maybe
I hope they've got a generator or a backup system.
Yeah. If not,
in case it's not enough.
If people do, they still do the thing with the lighters, and then
cell phones. Chris, don't be ridiculous. People don't watch concerts anymore. You put a cell phone up and you watch it through the cell phone and you move a little bit. Yeah. So hopefully they can harness that light and then create some power for ESCOM. So my lava lamp can be on.
That's the main goal, actually. And that's, do you know what's cool though, is if, for instance, you slow it down, then you wouldn't hear the band. So if you want to hear what kind of the line was, then you got to move.
Or it's a crap song. Like, no, I don't like this one. That's track 16 on the third album. Yeah, just stop moving. Yeah, it was terrible.
Put the brakes on the bicycle, guys.
So, but Leigh-Ann, on a serious note, as you can see, because I'm fully becoming that guy as well. I've gone bamboo cup. I've gotten rid of all the plastic in my house. So I'm on board with I'm not going to shout from the rooftops. I just want to reduce my own carbon footprint, which is not going to happen because I just jumped on a flight to Cape Town. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do to actually get it to zero. But yeah, I mean, let's incentivize better, smarter ways. We can still have electricity without, again, burning tiny little infants and coal,
Well, I mean...
Plant some trees, firstly. Your carbon footprint. Plant some trees, preferably in your own garden, not in an Airbnb where you are, because you never know.
I might as well carry on the theme of scamming. I might as well leave a tree here because you did it to me, a bit of a quid pro quo, if you will. You scammed me. Now you got a peach tree in your garden 5 years later, which you can't move. Yeah.
Or something with really invasive roots, like bamboo or something.
Oh, then I can make another cup for my ginger tea. That
there you go.
Win-win. And then you said ginger tea, and that made it all weird now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to a Coldplay concert where you got to cycle to hear the emo music.
How long have you been? Well, as a ginger, I appreciate.
Ginger tea is the best.
Is it made from real ginger people?
It was confusing for me. Leigh-Ann, it was confusing. I have to tell you, when I got to the shop and I said, "Can I have some ginger tea?" They said, "No, sir, sorry, not for you. That's for Chris and his people."
Yes, exactly. I'm trying to.
The same as when I asked for black tea and I was denied that.
I said, "Hi, boo, no, mom."
Is ginger tea technically rooibos?
No. I mean, technically it's tea. Well, no, technically it is because they're both tea.
If you teabag a ginger, then that's rooibos. Sorry, I went there. It's very early in the morning, and I went there. I apologize. If there's parents watching with their small children, be sure young children to ask your parents what teabagging is later on.
You can put. Well, we're talking about tea, so that you don't even need to explain. It's completely safe. But you can even put ginger into rooibos.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. Or turmeric. I never know what it is. Absolute.
That stuff.
Yeah, the orange stuff that just ruins everything. By the way, don't touch turmeric. Don't put it anywhere that you value in your house. It does not come off. Like it is. Oh, it's a commitment.
It must
it's
go
like
straight from the jar into your mouth.
Yeah. No, it's tough to
like,
get out.
It's like with
much
chicken.
like in marriage.
When you buy chicken, you don't want it to touch any surfaces. It must come straight out of the packaging and into the pot.
hadn't thought of that. Okay.
Yeah,
that's the first time I've ever heard that.
Walking around with chicken on your
No,
hand.
it's got to do with salmonella.
Yeah, but you just wash your hands. It's fine.
Yeah, no, just sanitize.
Ooh. Yeah, but if you put it onto a wooden board, it gets into all those little cracks. It's not a good thing.
Salmonella is a great weight loss tool for those of you who've never used it.
Yeah, it's also not good for people who have anxiety because it makes you think you're dying when you have it.
I'm guessing you might have had it before then. Yeah.
Jeez, like I actually Googled, I think I'm dying, from the floor of a bedroom where I'd been left alone because I was disrupting my partner.
What? Whoa, hold on. Now I got to ask. I mean, I was going to kind of let it go. What are you talking about? So you had salmonella where? In your own home, on holiday, on a boat?
In my own home.
Okay.
Yes. And because I was both ending it. I was both ending it. Thank goodness we had two loos. I used the one for the one and the other for the other, or just used the bucket system for the front end. And after hours and hours, I eventually resorted to just sleeping on a floor in another bedroom, and thought that I was dying. And you literally Google, am I dying from salmonella? Can I die? And I think I actually had the ambulance number on my phone in my hand with my finger hovering above the button so that I could press it just before I passed out. You really feel like you're dying when you have salmonella poisoning, I promise you.
This is an incredible, as they say in the northern suburbs of Joburg, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Incredible. Chris, what's been happening? I mean, obviously you're not dying of salmonella, I hope, or you haven't both ended it on a floor while Googling something. What's happening, bro? I mean, comedy, and with you, what you've been up to. Tell me what you've been up to in lockdown, and you can just give us the whole spiel about coming back to stage. I think you've been asked enough times now.
Yeah, well, it's everything's opening up now again, so that's cool. Because what people like to do is, after sort of like a long period of lockdown, then they open everything up and you get really, really busy, and then you get all these cool bookings, and then they shut it down again, and then you go into a massive depression, which is nice. I've done a bunch of things during lockdown just to keep myself busy, besides the normal gigs that you do. I've done a lot of virtual sort of gigs because I think I'm not like a very physical comedian, so my style and virtual actually go together quite well. I did a chef's course because I've been dabbling in food. So I did a chef's course at the HTA School of Culinary Art. So technically, I haven't got my official results yet, but I'm quite confident. I'm a qualified chef now.
That is amazing.
And I've been doing a lot of also cooking stuff online for corporate companies or whatever. And I've started a couple interesting side hustles. I make bacon jam. So if you're in Cape Town, I think it's big there. Joburg, not so much. But I know they're into it there. Not everyone in Cape Town. Some people don't like bacon at all down there. In fact, some people don't like it up here. But yeah, so I've been making, to keep me busy, I've been making bacon jam, and chimichurri is my new one, and selling it just for the hell of it, and braai aprons.
What?
That's not even a joke.
Good.
Do you have those naked ones, or the 6-pack ones? Where
no, I'll show you a quick example. I'll just do some shameless promotion here.
Okay.
This is the one I picked. I should have picked a.
No, wait, hold on. No, let's have a look there.
Your rack is nice, it says.
It says your rack is nice, but it would be better with my sauce. So obviously they're all bright tips.
That's a play on ribs, by the way. It's a play on ribs for those that are...
Rack of ribs.
That's it. Very good.
Yeah, so I've been doing that type thing, as well as gigs, and then writing work, because you can still write even during lockdown.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is something that's still expected of us during lockdown. Things like using pen to paper.
Yeah,
the science says pens can't get COVID.
Yes, well, I've got a laptop. It's much easier.
So advanced, so fancy.
Yeah, geez. Who is this guy?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I'm like just a tech mogul. Like it's an actual. It's even an Apple. I know. I know you're not a big fan of Apple from Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin, but
yeah, not at all. Actually, it's ridiculous to call your computer that, and your child, who from what I've heard has not been burnt, so that a Coldplay concert can go on.
Well, there you go. Does the child ride a bicycle for the duration of the concert, though?
That's good.
If none of the punters want to, do they get? I mean, there must be somebody there where they're like, guys, just ride the bike. We need to sing the song. We need the doors to open.
Chris, I want to ask you something before we go to break. Is on the other side, I want to talk about your past and how your career's evolved to where it is now. Because also the terrible stuff you've done as a person and your deepest fears. But Pure Monate, how I was introduced to you, is something I want to go back to. Some of our listeners may not know back then, and they may just know you now. I absolutely loved what you guys did with the Pure Monate show, and I'd love to hear. We'll chat a little bit about that and kind of where you are now in terms of putting sauce on people's racks.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I didn't realize you were that old. But the Pure Monate or PMS is something a lot of people really enjoyed. It was probably the most fun time of my career. So I can talk about it for hours.
So thank you for complimenting me. And by the way, it's a Friday show. We want to be nice to everyone. So you sort of left Leigh-Ann out there, my co-host. What do you think of a lipstick shade? Because I think it's gorgeous.
I think it's fantastic, and it suits you. It's amazing.
I wish I could tell you what it's called, but the name has rubbed off.
Oh no! Well, I hope the lipstick doesn't rub off. Let's hope it doesn't live up to its name.
Definitely doesn't. No transfer.
It matches your nail polish, so that's cool.
Yeah. No, Leigh-Ann's doing it today.
I had to venture out this week into the real world. I had to go into an office.
No.
And I know. I had to go and get my nails done. I had to do full makeup, do a full hairdo, find an outfit, put on a bra. I was exhausted by the time I got there.
Okay, well, these are all these are all issues I want to unpack on the other side. My God, how dare you have to interact with other humans? It's GCS. He is not here. I am not Gareth. That other person is not Gareth either. And the beautiful lady in the middle is not Gareth. That's what's important. This is, however, the GCS. We'll see in a little bit.
We came a long way. We see the light. Time is gone, now we face a new age. Things are changing so quickly lately.
Some people want to forget all about the 80s. Some people would prefer not to remember the hairstyles, the movies, the fashion, those pants we used to wear. God, those pants we used to wear. Some people would prefer to never hear an 80s song ever again. We are not those people. That 80s show. Music, movies, obscure references, and so many unchecked factoids. Fridays, 9 a.m. on Cliff Central. People say we're stuck in the 80s, like it's a bad thing.
Yo, I put it like wow, this that sound. These oaks don't work hard like me, I hope they know by now.
Yeah, Chris, that was me, by the way. I don't know if you saw me there. That was a promo for my show.
I was looking. I was thinking that the resemblance is uncanny, but I didn't want to say that all people look the same. So
you've done well. You've done.
You don't want to risk that. It's that same thing. You never tell like a black guy that he looks the same as another black guy. In the same way, you never ask a woman if she's pregnant. It's things I've learned over the years.
Yeah, because you
You're doing well.
I would have done that. You've done it is good, right, Leigh-Ann? I would have gone full Msholozi on you there. If you said, hey, you look like that guy, I would have gone, well, just like famed mathematician of the noughties, Jacob Zuma, it felt like apartheid when you said that. I would have gone full on.
It would have been unconstitutional. Yeah.
So, Chris, before we get into how awesome you are, and I'm a huge fan, by the way.
I love you. Keep you on
Excellent.
Put that on my voicemail. Yeah.
First thing I'm doing after this, I'm going on Instagram, basically telling everyone I'm besties with Chris Forrest. No big deal. I don't really want to go on about myself, but we're besties, and and also, Leigh-Ann, I'd love your take here. Right, we got a guy we work with. So I got to give you a bit of context. I think it's important before we chat to Aaron that I give everybody a bit of context. We've had Aaron on before. He's a producer, graphics guy, dynamic young man. I think he's got a massive future. And so recently his life changed, and he decided to transition from delinquent out in the fields hunting, right? And he decided to sort of change the scope of his life in terms of romance, and we're going to have him on. Aaron's going to join us in a little bit, but he's now got a girlfriend, and it's kind of changed him in the office a little bit as well. I don't know if you've ever seen when people get into a relationship, they can't wait to kind of tell you, and they're so much better than everyone now. And we thought we should
obviously very happy for him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm happy for him, but I mean, he's laying it on thick, and it's like, yeah, guys, I can't really look at that kind of. I don't know if you may have met people that are newly in a relationship, like, yeah, I can't do that anymore. It's just because I'm in a relationship now.
Because I'm a chick
now. Yeah, yes, I got a bet. Yeah, like, okay, yeah, so we'll find out if Aaron's got full on. Become that guy.
What are some of the things you can't do when you're in a relationship? Like besides the obvious, like sleep with random people.
You're not allowed to look at. You're not allowed to look at any other girls or any other photographs of girls or guys. You're not allowed to do anything without letting the person know. It's fabulous. It sounds amazing, really.
I don't think I'm in a relationship. It's really weird because I've been married for a long time.
So your wife's in a one-sided relationship, you reckon?
Well, she's allowed to look at whoever she likes. She actively encourages me to look at other people constantly. She's like, stop looking at me, look elsewhere, please. Yeah. So that one I've not quite got yet.
So, you know, I've got no emotional intelligence. So I just presume if you're in a relationship, you can't do anything. Your life just ends, and you just have to serve the needs of that other person. So that lets you know why I'm single. You know,
I was going
I
to say,
don't know.
from that side of things, I could be in a relationship with you. I'll take that. Just serve my need. Yes, that sounds
All
great.
right. Yeah. Well, let's bring on a man who, I don't want to say he thinks it, but he's kind of starting to display the symptoms of someone who's better than everyone. Incredibly handsome, as you can see. Let's just see if he can unmute his mic so he can join us and actually tell us. Aaron, what's happening, pal? Chris Forrest is
What's
saying you can
up?
serve
What's
his
up? What's
needs.
up?
Obviously, now people are wondering what's happened in your love life. Are you still single and miserable? How's it changed? You know, let us know what you're up to, pal.
Oh, firstly, hi Leigh-Ann, you're looking great. Firstly,
Oh, you're allowed to say that.
I mean, technically complimenting somebody shouldn't be classified as cheating, I think.
Depends on your
And
relationship, Aaron. It depends on the boundaries you've set.
in the relationship, right? If
Yes.
you know, and I feel like our boundaries are good. To answer your question, Bulelo, yeah, I'm not in the market anymore. I'm not. Yeah, the market has officially been closed.
Mhm.
Can I
Yeah,
just
it was
gauge how
a
serious it is? Have you changed your Facebook status?
no.
So it's not a
No.
it's not that serious.
No.
Yes.
Now the thing is, I don't. You know what I've learned? When you change your Facebook status and be like, okay, from single into a relationship, it doesn't mean anything. I've seen a lot of people who change their status and then like 3 months down the line, it's back to single, or rather they change it to it's complicated. And then it's like, then they single again. And then the next relationship, they change it. So I've just kept it consistent. It
You're
is
just
what it
gonna keep
is.
that. Have you
Yeah.
changed your Tinder status
I'm not on Tinder.
Anymore.
anymore?
No, I wasn't on Tinder. I was 5'2" being on Tinder, but I wasn't
Okay.
on Tinder. Yeah.
And how did you meet this lady? Like, what happened? I mean, take us into it. The romance is a wonderful thing.
Whew. So I think she's probably listening even.
Oh,
So so funny story. She posted a picture, I think, of her dog on Facebook as a story. And then I commented on that, right? And because it was a pit bull and I'm a pit bull lover. So it was one of those things. And it was like small chats, small talk. She wasn't like even giving me the time of day, actually. And then one day I decided, you know what? Let me just shoot my shot. I was like, yo, I'm going to be in your neighborhood, which honestly, I was not going to be in the neighborhood.
The lengths you'll go to.
The lengths. But I was like, no, I'm going to be in your neighborhood on this certain day. So would you mind grabbing lunch with me while I run those errands? And then she was like, okay, cool, no problem. I think women and free food kind of go hand in hand.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it was
Okay.
free food. Free
Okay,
food.
and
And
what
she
do
was
you-
like, all right, cool. And I just made a really good impression on that specific day.
Wait, hold on, Aaron. I can't let you keep going there after you said the women and free food thing. I could see Chris. So, I mean, Chris, before I let you have a go, because I can see exactly what you're thinking. Leigh-Ann, just your thoughts on that comment from a man who is newly in a relationship. His lady is listening to the show, so he's now framed her as a type of person. But maybe let's hear it from a woman. What you think
She
of him
didn't,
saying that?
Erin, she didn't agree because of the free food. You obviously had something else to offer that she could tell and pick up on. But I promise you it wasn't for the free food.
So there you have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, a lady said it.
Can we go into that slightly more? Firstly, she's a lucky girl because you've already said you're not changing your Facebook status because you don't see it lasting longer than 3 months, and she's just there for the free food.
Bruh, what
So,
do you mean?
Was it at least a nice place for lunch? I mean, did you take it to sort of McDonald's or Wimpy, or was it a decent? When
It
you
was
say
a decent place.
Or a
It was
quota in the
decent
car. I
place.
hope it wasn't like a quota in the car.
No. It was a decent place, guys. Like, as a
a
first
quarter in the
date.
car is what happens later. Yeah, sorry.
Hey.
I mean, yeah, eventually you just chill in the car, have a quarter with like a tulitanyana and simnandi.
Yeah, okay.
But no, as a first date,
I think
we
Chris meant something else, but
Yeah, never mind. I'm glad.
Anyway,
well,
yeah.
he hasn't
Oh,
had a court
clearly.
in the car.
yeah, no, not yet.
It's
Well, he doesn't
actually-
see it lasting over 3 months, so it might not even get to that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You
I
did.
didn't
I don't want to change my Facebook status because you change it, and 3 months later you change it back to single.
No. I said I've seen people do that, and for me, just there's no difference.
No, that's
No.
fine. We're not judging. And then you saw her pit bull on Facebook. I'm assuming that's not a euphemism. That you actually are a big pit bull
No.
fan.
Yeah,
I
it's not-
don't even know what his latest song is, to be honest.
It wasn't OnlyFans where you saw a picture of her growler. It was actually her pit bull.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ben.
And
Thank
to be
you.
clear, you didn't see Mr. Worldwide. So it wasn't the singer.
No, it
She
wasn't-
didn't-
it
she
wasn't
didn't
Mr.
post up The
Worldwide.
singer.
No,
Oh, okay. And
no,
you're like,
it
I
was
like
the
that. Okay.
actual. Was that
An
her
actual,
actual
was it a
Yes.
nice specimen?
pet? It was a really nice dog. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
All right.
that's often
Okay,
what you want when a lady posts with, like, she's probably got a picture of herself in a bikini or whatever, and then you're like, nice pit bull. So that's
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
smart.
think, luckily for me, she's a pretty reserved hun. So, nah, she doesn't drop those kind of pictures. So.
All right, so you've bought her the Kota
Yeah.
now in the car. You've obviously faked the whole "I'm gonna be in your neighborhood," which is awesome, by the way. Classic line. So you're brilliant, Aaron. At this stage, I'm loving what you're doing, and it sounds like you knew her when she was younger. Then, obviously, from the sounds of things.
No.
Oh,
It
so
wasn't
how
a
do you know
thing
where
of
she lives?
the thing. So when she posts, she had dropped like it's not like a location, but it says in this
Yeah.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I see.
I was like, oh no, there's like a mall nearby, so I'll just go there, which we ended up doing. We ended
Smart.
up going to like
that you're slightly nervous to reveal the neighborhood. I'm not sure why.
next thing you know, people are out here just scouting. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in this specific neighborhood, okay, let's go through Aaron's profile. Let's see who Aaron's dating. Next thing you know, they're like, oh, he's dating this girl. And then, just.
And then all I got to do is buy a lunch and then relationship.
Yeah.
At a
They love
McDonald's.
food, right, Aaron?
Can't trust Kantambagal these days, Hey,
Yeah, no, hey, that's true. But before you tell us the rest of the story, Leigh-Ann, I wanted to from a lady's perspective, you being the only lady,
Because I'm such a lady.
you're a lady. I'm a lady.
Well, I don't want to stereotype, Leigh-Ann, but you are more qualified to answer from a lady's perspective than the rest of us, I think.
Thank you.
but That's very conservative from Chris, but you're displaying all of the symptoms of being a lady, Leigh-Ann, I would say, including looking dashing and having the perfect. Listen, that lipstick is incredible, by the way. I can't get over it. It's really working for you this morning.
See, my nails don't even match my lips.
Yeah.
They do kind of.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't even have lips. That's even worse.
But from the perspective of a lady, everything Aaron's kind of saying now in terms of that, do you kind of like that whole romance approaching you that way? Because I know in 2021 you almost can't do what Aaron's done, which is I think it's kind of cool the way he's approached it.
Yeah, no,
But
I think
you dare not talk to a woman ever if you think she's attractive.
Yeah, Aaron, I think you've really struck it lucky, and you must have had a very smooth approach. And again, she can see something more in you to offer, because I would have said no, not to you, but to anybody who said to me, I'm in your neighborhood. I would have gone, what? And then secondly, I would have actually gone into my house and closed all the curtains in case they were watching. But congratulations to you for getting that far. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. No,
So
that's
if
good.
I'm ever single again, Leigh-Ann, that approach of I'm outside your house.
Oh God!
I'm looking.
I mean,
in the window. I can
that's
see
kind
you
of
there.
creepy. That's kind of creepy. I'm outside your house.
I'm outside
mean-
your house. You wanna get lunch?
Nobody wants to hear that, even from people you know.
I've got some
You
pink
don't-
bologna in a quarter.
You don't even want to hear your friend saying, I'm outside your house. It's just
Yeah.
not on.
You know what you should say is, hey, I was just thinking, you should move that blue couch slightly left. It might make the room work better.
Ooh.
Just
Also-
like, because now you're not being creepy. You're just making her space
Yeah.
more functional.
Some interior design options. Also, if you open the curtains, I could see better and give you some other tip. Why not?
Bring in some lights into the room for ambiance.
So these are just some tips. So now, that's it. So now, Aaron, so you're off the market, bro. And would you say now you're a different man? You kind of, you're not a dog on the streets anymore. You're somebody who, your parents actually want you to come to church now on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? You think you're transitioning to that guy?
Honestly, yes. Honestly, honestly, I am seeing myself moving from that street life. It was fun while it lasted, I won't lie, but we've had these conversations at work. I've always seen myself wanting to be in a more stable relationship, just now being more focused in terms of my life and knowing that I don't have to be out there chasing skirts all the time. It's just it's draining. That kind of energy has become draining for me. So I struck it lucky, guys. I won't lie. I struck it lucky.
How long has it been?
It hasn't even been that long, funny enough. I think we're like a good
2
month
days?
and a half now. No, we're a month and a half in now.
Oh, that's good.
That is awesome.
So you've
But
just got 1.5 months left.
Guys. Hasn't seen it.
Not long to go.
Yeah. Hang in.
No.
Hang in there.
This one's gonna last. I have a good feeling about this one. This
Well,
one
if
will
she
last.
is watching, there's a lot of pressure on her right now.
Yeah. Now people are going to be all over your. What's your handle on social media, Aaron? So people can go and live your life with you.
Oh, live the relationship life vicariously through me. Aaron Junior 10. Literally,
So double
Aaron,
A, double N.
Yeah, double A RON _ JNR 10. That is me. Literally everywhere.
So you said something there. People always say, I just want to be in a stable relationship. Like, why do you have to preface relationship with stable? What other kinds of relationship would you want to be in? I've never understood why people have said, like, what do you want to be in a relationship with a crack addict?
Oh, no. People do open relationships. They do situationships.
But that can be stable.
Yeah,
No,
there's that,
Molelo.
No.
that polyam life, but
Yeah.
and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. But I'm like, how do they have the time?
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just like, I'm tired already. Now I've got to.
Yeah. And the thing about stable relationships is not everybody has a property big enough to keep the horses, as well. So
I'm
it's
just
not
putting
for
it out
everyone.
there. Like, as a dad, I desperately stopped myself from making that joke. So I do appreciate it. I thought it was pretty good, and I was like, I can't be making dad jokes. So I was hoping somebody would.
Listen, I'm just a guy who got scammed in an apartment in Cape Town. I kind of got to let you know where I am in my life. So, all right, Aaron. So now you're that guy. What's that?
What happened? What you got scammed in an
it.
apartment?
We're already covered it.
We already covered it. There's no going
Aaron,
back now, Aaron.
I've got to ask you now your gifting strategy, because this is important.
Okay. All
This is
right.
advice I
Okay.
got at the beginning of my relationship, where it was actually my brother.
Okay.
If anybody knows him, feel free to discuss with him. Where he was like, your first gift you buy her can't be too good, because you've like set a standard that you always have to beat,
Yes.
because you always got to
Totally.
top your last one.
That's
So,
totally agree.
so tell us your strategy. Are you looking at, so for Christmas, is she going to get like a tin opener, or
Something useful for around the house, like a vacuum cleaner.
no? That's weird.
No. Then you're setting it a little high with the vacuum cleaner. there.
That's very expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you know what you could do? Maybe if you've been to her house, is get her, like the floor whiz things. I don't know if you know what a floor
Oh
whiz
my
is.
lord!
So, but hold on. Here's the secret.
Let me just
to
be
setting
clear
the bar
here:
really low.
no household items, guys.
Well,
No,
Leigh-Ann,
I
you got to
mean-
hear
I
me
promise
out.
I was joking.
You've got to hear my gift out, because
Okay.
I love what Chris was saying here. is you don't get her the flowers, you get the replacement for the flowers, because then you're saying you should have a flowers in your house, and then you're really making an inconvenient gift, and then that's how low you're setting the bar. So I mean, while we're at it, we were just brainstorming it. Just your thoughts, Aaron.
It can only get better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's like
Yeah.
inconvenient. It's schlep now for her to go get a flowers. This, and if she doesn't use the gift, now you go, excuse me, that's my hard-earned money. Go and buy a
Yep.
flowers. You know, I work hard for my money, and
Not
then we get a
happening.
relationship going.
No, in this situation, I agree with Leigh-Ann. No household gifts. Simple things, guys. Simple things. You know, a teddy bear, a pot plant. You know, we start things very, very easy, and then we start
Okay.
elevating them to maybe a weekend out.
A weekend out. Like a
like a
pot
n-
plant's not a bad idea, because sometimes a pot plant will only last 3 months, and that way.
This 3 months thing is a thing. Okay, it's a thing.
Oh man!
Okay.
All right, Aaron. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely happy for you on a very serious level. I think love is a great thing, and you know, I mean, I don't want to say you may or may not have said I love you yet, so I don't want to put any of that pressure on you. I'm
Well,
just
can we
speaking in
check?
general.
Can we check? Have you?
Yeah. Have
You know,
used
funny thing, right? And I'm gonna use this platform to like put it out there so that everybody knows. She said it
Wait.
first.
Is this an exclusive?
Oh,
Is this an
I thought
exclusive?
she
Yeah.
was like building up to a "I love you," and then
Yes,
instead,
I
think-
like she said
Yeah,
it
I
first.
wanna. Yeah, I'm just putting it out. She said it first. She dropped the album first, and I was just like, "Whew, finally, I can say it. Okay, great. And then yeah, and then
So
yeah,
maybe
and then
what people will say when they're in an arm lock.
just a little.
So did you say it back, Aaron? Were you like, I love you too? Or did you, hopefully you didn't say, oh no, thanks. Should I get the carrots that are already skinned or just, yeah, with the,
Do you
we need to peel it
No,
up?
Have a floor with.
I actually said it. I actually said it back. I said it back genuinely
Yeah.
because of how I was feeling, and I am feeling. Yeah,
Yeah.
I said it back genuinely. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right. I mean, Aaron, a new
So
man.
those
a
are the
better man.
vibes, guys.
And
Those
now-
are
I
the
like her.
vibes.
She sounds great. She's you've just told her you're giving her a pot plant and a weekend away. So so that's cool.
Yeah. And I like her that you're treating it like a short-term loan. It's only 3 months, and then we see what you can do after 3 months, and maybe we'll offer you a longer-term loan of a year or so. Once we've seen that you can pay back for 3 months, so it's smart, it's pragmatic, and yeah, it's good for you, bro. This is
Good
fantastic.
thinking.
He's off the market. Yeah.
I mean, guys, it's how we move these days. 2020 and 2021 has showed us that, hey, we must take things, you know, step by step. We can't just plan 5 years ahead when
Yeah.
tomorrow's uncertain, you know?
All right, ladies, keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants. Aaron says, I'm off the market. I'm not a savage
Yes.
anymore. My parents want me to go to church for the first time in my adult life with the family, and actually I can walk next to my mom now. So shout out to you, Aaron, being welcomed back into the family and leaving that street life behind you, bro. And thanks for sharing, and well done for not saying thank you and saying I love you when your lady confessed her love for you.
Yeah, hey, man. Hey, we change, you know? We change for
Yeah.
the better. And
All
that's it.
right, Aaron. All right, we do change for the better. Progress is a good thing. All right, Aaron. You take it easy out there, and keep doing your thing, brother.
All right, thanks, guys. Cheers.
Take it easy. Yeah. No. So there you have it. That's Aaron at our studio. It's a different time, right? It's a different time, and
Yeah.
but he's like he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. I hope after 3 months when they do the sort of review, it works out and he gets a longer term deal. Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of bullet points in the relationship review. What will you do for free food after 3 months? Do you feel like a pot plant? Is it alive? You know.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I don't think I could be single in this day and age. Like, I don't know how you do it. Like, I'm just so glad.
What do you mean? Do you mean being single and trying to find a relationship, or do you mean being single full stop?
No, I mean being single and trying to find a relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like before, you had to go to approach somebody, preferably at a bar, because, you know, as a fat guy, I'm like at 2 a.m.
Okay.
You know, like let's
You
put it
wait
out there.
for-
Ladies didn't look at me and go, "That's the one." They were like, "At 2 a.m, I'll settle for this dude. He's
All the others have partnered off and gone
all,
home.
all the good ones have been taken." And then you like summon up all the like Dutch courage you have, and then you get turned down, and then that's your night. Where now with technology, you can get turned down by 50 women all at once just by swiping or whatever they do on that. And then you have to apparently you have to send them pictures of your member. And I'm not a great photographer. I mean, I've got a ring light here. I don't even want to light that part of my body. It's I don't even understand. It's all.
Oh my God. It's a new world. Huh?
Yeah,
It's a new world. Yeah, it's a new world. So tell me something. Unless you old Richard Spoor, I'm not sure you ever saw a little callback there. Chris, don't know if you saw Richard Spoor. He'd be, you know, some ladies might want him to send a package, a photo. You know?
No, I don't even know. That's how old I am. I don't know who Richard Spoor is.
No. He's well aged, a big time lawyer guy, and there was a photo leaked of him standing having coffee with his. It looks like he just.
Oh,
I
did hear about this.
Yes, yeah, it was incredible. It was funny because he was like in like a suit jacket and shirt kind of vibe, and then just having his cup of coffee, and yeah, he was at attention downstairs.
Oh, wow. That's,
interesting situation.
But you see, it's all about how you take the picture. Because you remember, I don't want to mention names, but he was the Minister of, I think, Finance or Intelligence. No, he was the Minister of Home Affairs at the time. And then he released a video.
With the lady.
Homemade facial.
And then, if I like hold my thumb right next to the camera, it does
look
look big. I'm just putting that out there. It did look bigger. Did you see that? Like my thumb is average sized, but right now it looks huge.
I'm with you.
So I mean, if you are quite creative with your camera work, you can. It's all branding, really.
Get the. So
follow me for more tips, single people. Yeah.
All right. Fumo says Aaron should write a playbook for us lonely people. And so, Leigh-Ann, you know what? This is a good moment for us to hear, because most dudes are terrible. And as Chris has said, guys like myself and Chris would have to wait until all girls are drunk before they give us a chance. But what's a nice thing to like? How do you like to be approached, Leigh-Ann? Is there a way that you prefer, or do you just, does a guy have to have game? Like, oh, what's the vibe? Because there's lonely people. Lockdown it's been savage.
I'm guessing the outside your house approach is off. You've already said that's not a great one for you. I'm inside your house. That might be.
I've already done the hard work.
That's a whole lot more convenient, because then I don't have to get up and find the keys and turn off the alarm.
Yeah.
So, Leigh-Ann,
I don't want to be. I don't want to be approached, really. Not at this
That's
point.
what a lot of women have said to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just shopping. Stop coming up to me and telling me that you don't want to be approached.
I think that the last time I was in a romantic relationship, I was pursued to the point of irritation, but I only realized, I thought it was, I don't know, I didn't realize that they were pursuing me. I just thought that they were annoying me until it hit me in the face and I realized I was actually interested in a relationship with this person. So it needs to be something that's surprising, but yeah, if you're pursuing ad nauseum and it's not working, give it up, I think.
Desperation is never attractive.
Yeah. No, that's.
But in this case, it worked. You know, I eventually saw the light.
Oh, so you eventually got on board, huh?
So basically, you've got to annoy Leigh-Ann for a long time.
Okay.
And then eventually she'll find you attractive. Cool.
Cool. No, good to know. Good to know. You know, information is king. Elon the God says we don't send pictures of members anymore. It's frowned upon. Chris, so just some advice for you there.
I don't know. I don't do these things. I just I had a lovely young lady working in my office, and she had a collection of these guys. Then she actually had a group with some of her friends, and then these guys, obviously it's not a particularly attractive part of our anatomy,
No.
No.
So I don't know why dudes send it. And like I say, but my friend Warren Robertson did something that he took her phone and he said, "That's nice. Now send me one of your butthole," which I think is a very important thing to do. If
That's what the ring light's for.
That's what the ring light's for, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the ring light's for. But so let's wrap this one up. Robin Badger says most guys are too scared to show their tiny wieners. Now that's interesting. I don't know whether Robin wants somebody to send her
that's a dangerous
or what she's
territory.
saying there.
Well, Robin says in the comment above, unless a woman asks, which can happen.
But it's never a good idea. Like, listen, to all dudes.
I think just to go back to it for the sake of the woman, like because you don't know what you're going to get until like moments before you get it. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it could be a oxymoron here, a huge disappointment, or like a tiny disappointment in this case, Robin. So I mean, I don't think send it up front, but you know, like possibly ladies should go like, well, let me see if I'm wasting my time here or not.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And speaking of WhatsApp groups where we do know that things like this have happened by mistake, where ladies' breasts and underparts, yeah, you've seen how they land up in like the sort of mommy lift club group for the under 11 soccer team.
It's like the hockey team or something.
Yeah, there's been a couple of those. But Chris, you want to talk about something which for me it's really a painful point in my life. Neighborhood WhatsApp groups.
They're very weird for me.
They are.
I don't know. We were thinking about things to talk about, and I just find that like it's the strangest thing. People moan about different stuff that you think would never bother you. Like, and mine is weird because it's like I don't know if you guys remember during the July, the unrest and the WhatsApp group was like, we're all going to die. What's going to happen? We're losing our houses. The next one, cabinet for sale. Let me know if you're interested.
I love community WhatsApp groups. I'm part of about
really?
3 of them. I mean, I live in a very long street, so we've got like
How big's
upper
your
and
community?
lower. It's pretty big, but yeah, it's just I think what's annoying is when somebody isn't following the feed. And, you know, after we've mentioned that the electricity's out, we've reported it. I'm also out at number 108. Number 99 is still on, etc. And then somebody comes in and says, "Hi, everyone, my electricity's off." But where they haven't read the feed. It's so annoying.
That's my worst, is because everybody does that, like because they confirm. So there's no power at 108. Then somebody feels they've got to say there's no power at number 106. No power at number 104. It's like, yes, we get it because there's load shedding. No power at 102. Get it. And then there's that one person that you mentioned at 99 who's like, we've got power. Like, you're a knob. Like, why? Well, you're just showing off now. What are you going to do? Like, throw an extension cord out and we can all plug into it. Why don't you get screwed, you bastard, at 99? I'm going to go switch you off and then tell you I'm inside your house just in case we have a romantic possibility there. That way I've annoyed you and stalked you, and then I've got, according to Leigh-Ann, a higher possibility.
Yeah.
Here's the floors. Clean up.
Oh, Lord.
You want some free food? I've got
Absolutely incredible. Corona's boring says, did it occur to you that if someone is asking for a dick pic, it's probably I'll post it on your Facebook wall scam, as a scam, unless you give me money. Like, I always think that's why you should never do it. Like, don't get caught up in the early romance, because people do that. And then once the dick pic is out there, she keeps it, and things like what if it's Erin's situation, right? After 3 months, the lady goes, "Get the hell out of here," and now it's a little bit hurtful, and then she goes, "Actually, you know what? And then boom, crash, boom, bang.
I'm gonna post this thing just to be spiteful, even though it looks far bigger than it is because it's close to the camera. But but because the thing is if you like people were talking about tiny wieners earlier, so like just Google, you know what I mean? Google, take
somebody else's.
Yeah, well, exactly. Just make sure it's of a similar skin tone, because You know,
Yeah, you don't know. You've
There
got to
could
be
be
as
questions.
authentic as you can.
yes.
Yeah, no, that's
And then-
very true.
Like, what are they going to do? Take you to the Advertising Standards Authority?
Masitsana says, I'm part of my mom's community security group and community WhatsApp group. We don't even live together. Yeah, so Masitsana's into being on groups. Like for me, I'm not even in my complex group. Like they tried to add me immediately. I'm like, get me out of here. So Chris, how many
No,
are you
it's
on?
really, it's very
I'm a-
helpful.
I'm on the. This is how old I am. Just to put it in perspective, I'm on the Residents Association committee for our whole sort of area.
Oh boy.
And there's a lot of houses in our area, so we've broken it down into. Wait for it. We've got 6 different areas. I'm the administrator on all of them, and then those are for security issues. Then we've got a social group because we were like, you can't post jokes on the security ones, so now, or adverts. Now we've got a social group. Then we've got a power and water group. Then we've got a pets group. Then, so you can keep count. Then what happened was we were like, WhatsApp is going to be the death of all of us. They're going to get all our information that Facebook already has. So let's rather move on to Telegram because obviously that's been invented by the Russians and we know they're an amazing, trustworthy bunch.
Yeah.
So then I've got a Telegram group for security issues only and a Telegram group for feedback where we can talk about the security issues. So I don't know how many that I'm on a lot. Like
Jeepers
a lot.
creepers. So Wendy's more my type of person. She sounds very, very practical. She says, our Crescent used our WhatsApp group to coordinate patrols and share farm products when shops were closed. All right. It sounds like Wendy lives on a plot or a farm. It makes a lot more sense to me.
To coordinate patrols and sell produce. Like if you had to have had a WhatsApp group back in the day, that would have been a good one, like the commando.
But it sounds like she lives on a farm, though. So, most farmers are living back in the day still.
But that's a crescent, so it's like a small, like by my understanding, like a little.
No, maybe she's wealthy. Maybe she's wealthy, and a crescent for them is like 18 wine farms. It just so happens that road ends, the dirt road ends, and for her it's a crescent. They visit each other with helicopters. Maybe Wendy's living like that,
And I also love talking about the patrols because I don't want to brag that I'm in a wealthy area, but we have people to patrol for us. We pay minimum wage and then give them a gun and expect them to risk their lives for us. It's a great system.
You sound wealthy.
Randburg, I don't mean to brag. You see, I don't mind telling what area I'm in. If you're in the neighborhood, hit me up on Facebook. Maybe we can. I think I'll be for a free lunch.
Put up your pitbull photo, Mr. Worldwide.
Well, we've just discussed that women don't want a picture of my pitbull, so I think that's what it's got teeth.
Yeah. So hold on, Leigh-Ann, you're in 11 WhatsApp groups or whatever you're in because your community is huge as well. It's like, what are you guys up to? Why are you on so many? Is the crime 3 places away important to you? Or
no, so I fall in the middle of the street, so I need to be on the lower group and the upper group, and then there's the Melville group. I've just put it out there, but we all know that I live in Melville.
And we do now.
We've got security groups, and but it's really helpful. I find it helpful, and sometimes it's annoying. But if I hear a gunshot in the middle of the night, I know that immediately I'm going to find out what happened on the group, which is great.
But that's another one of my favorite things. Sorry, I've interrupted you there.
No.
Is when there is a loud bang. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, I do the security side of things, but I love how everyone in the whole neighborhood becomes like a ballistic expert. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Like, did anybody hear that? Was it a gunshot? And then there's like one guy will come back, he'll say, yes, it sounded like a Parabellum 642. And the other guy's like, you crazy. That's not a Parabellum, that's a Glock. And then like eventually I get hold of security and I say, what happened? They were like, I don't know, it was a car backfiring on the highway.
Fireworks. Yeah, we've had there was an actual shooting, and it was an off-duty cop, and he witnessed somebody hijacking a car, and so he fired shots at the car after the car had driven away. And the big debate was, almost like with Oscar Pistorius, where the neighbor said it was bang, 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 bang. And we had these debates on how many bangs there were and the spaces in between the bangs for no reason at all. I mean, what were we going to do with that information?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Aaron has a similar debate right now.
No, very good. Very good. Listen, Chris, before you leave us, because obviously you have a family you love and you've got to actually catch up on the 3,000 messages from the 12 WhatsApp groups you're in to make sure the speed bumps aren't too high in your streets or whatever has to happen in Rich Randburg. Quickly tell us, man. Obviously, Pure Manati, we didn't really get to talk about it, but before you leave us, because Borge is coming up in a little bit if you're a car enthusiast. Where are you now? What's happening? Where can we catch you? Are gigs coming back? Are you? Yeah, no, go. I like excitement.
I've got a one-man show coming up.
Oh, okay. Tell us all about it. Let's wrap on that.
Well, it's on the 4th of November at Hotel Sky. It's a show I've been working on during lockdown. So obviously, because not a lot of people have spoken about lockdown and COVID and whatever, there's going to be a fair chunk of that in there. I might even discuss everything we spoke about today. I'm going to discuss stalking Leigh-Ann and give her address in Melville away. But yeah, I don't even this. It's so new. Like the chap who is promoting it only actually phoned me yesterday. So Hotel Sky, 4th of November. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Chris Forrest SA. Except on Facebook, then it's just Chris Forrest with 2 R's in Forrest, not in Chris. And then I will accept you as a friend on all platforms, and then force my vaccine liking on you, and then also shove advertising for shows in your face.
Amazing.
Here we go.
Absolutely.
Total
incredible.
honesty right there.
Chris, you know what is like? I'm not. I'm new in this whole world, and it's there isn't a world I could have imagined ever meeting guys like you and people like Leigh-Ann Mole. So to meet you seriously is a privilege. You were a huge part of my upbringing, and you brought me so many days of delight as a young human. It's been awesome to have you with us, and it's nice to see you transitioning from a guy who had to talk drunk to girls just to have a chance to a family man and one of the greatest comedians this country's ever produced. So I think that's an awesome thing, and it's been an honor having you with us.
Well, it's been good to be here. I look forward to when I'm in your neighborhood offering you a floor whiz and some free food.
No, please.
Both of you.
Listen, Chris, please. I admire you, but I live in Morningside. We don't use floor whiz where I live. Have some respect.
Okay. I'll get you one of those automated vacuum cleaner things.
Yeah, there we go. Now you're on the right. Exactly.
I picked it back at the end of the 3-month trial period. Just saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Forrest, you're awesome. Chris, take it easy out there.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Cheers, my brother. Hey, he's electric, eh?
Oh yeah.
What an awesome human being. All right. From one electric person to somebody who's into electric vehicles, by the way. Big push for this world. Somebody who we all love. And it tells you it's Friday. George Meany. George, what's happening?
Oh, hi, Borge.
Hello, Leigh-Ann. Thanks for that transition there. That was epic. I loved that. Yeah. I saw that. Very good. You know what? WhatsApp groups. I'm on too many of them. They are. I actually hate them. I mute them because there's only one group that I don't mute, and that's the crime group, because those guys seem to behave themselves.
Oh, crime! Once crime comes knocking on your door, George, you're gonna need those the tunnies across the road to call the police. So smart to look after that one. Exactly. George, let's get into what do we have this morning?
So I'm talking about crime. Did you see that lead in there?
Very good. By the way, George, before you get going, sorry, Gareth is away. For those who are just listening, of course, this morning our feature is powered by Auto Trader, the Auto Central Power Pod, and of course, it's by Borge. Borge, go ahead.
Thanks. Have you ever thought of a bulletproof car?
I've actually been in one.
I've been in a couple, yeah.
Okay, so
when
last
I
year,
was a street journalist, I traveled in one, which was cool.
so last year we reported that there was a significant increase in searches for armored cars on Auto Trader's platform, and so we picked up the story in the last week, and that is actually the installation of bulletproof glass, armor protection, turning your car into an armored vehicle is quite rife in South Africa. It's not something that's just kind of a fantasy, and not necessarily only for journalists nowadays, Leigh-Ann. It's people are actually ordering cars bulletproof. There was a staggering 99,000 hijackings in 2019 and 2020, and in the last year, 88,000 incidents of vehicle theft, of which 45,000 of those are in Gauteng. So people, I think their perception is that it is the Wild West. So people are ordering these armored cars, and it turns out that you get a couple of grades of armored cars. So first of all, the most popular car to armor is a double cab bakkie, because it can handle the extra weight. A B4 armor protection adds 280 kilograms to the car.
So yeah, you wouldn't want to put it onto your Hyundai i10 because it might become a little sluggish. Is what we're saying.
Exactly. So there's a couple of grades. Double cab bakkies are the most popular and the most cost effective. As a matter of fact, this one armored conversion company has partnered with Ford, and you can order a Ford Ranger, an armored Ford Ranger, straight from the dealership. So there's this protection called B4 armoring, which is protection from handguns only. In terms of what your previous guest, I think his name was Chris, was talking about. People on WhatsApp groups saying this is a XYZ gun, etc. But B4 armoring protects the car from handguns, adds 280 kilograms of weight to the car, and has 21 millimeter Kevlar protection.
Jeez.
So 21 millimeter glass and Kevlar protection in the doors. Then there's B6 protection, which can stop an AK-47 bullet. And this uses 38 millimeter glass. Now, if to give you an idea of the glass, I'm going to send you.
That's 4 centimeters.
Exactly. That's massive.
Incredible.
Now, in some instances, you can't roll the window down. Because
it's about the thickness of my dad's reading glasses.
That's awesome.
It's really thick.
So if you look at that link I just sent you, the third image is the difference between B4 and B6 ballistic glass, and it gives you some sort of perspective on what the glass actually, how thick the glass actually is.
Incredible. All right. What else do we have, George? That's insane. People protecting themselves. Wow.
It's absolutely insane. And then car prices are going through the roof. I mentioned this like a week or two ago, and it is a real thing. And it's not only happening in South Africa. We are seeing car prices on our platform go up. And the reason is mainly because of the chip shortage around the world, which is as a result of COVID-19. And the manufacturers not being able to manufacture cars, new car prices going up, people not being able to afford them. So there's not enough cars to go around. That's the problem. And the reason the prices are going up is just there's a shortage of cars. There's a shortage of even used cars in the market.
Yeah. We've just sold a family car that was a secondhand car, and it went within a day, just so quick.
So
the demand's so high.
The demand is very high. So I would encourage you to go onto autotrader.co.za /car-valuations, or you can just go to the homepage. There's in the menu, there's car valuations. Go and see what your car is worth, because one of the biggest problems of a new car is you battle to get out of the finance within 2 to 3 years. So you have to wait 2 to 3 years before the finance value comes down to below the car's value. So you battle to sell it, and pay the loan back. Whereas that might not be the case now. So if you're sitting with a car that's 1 or 2 years old and you want to get rid of it, chances are you might be able to get what you owe on the car and not be in the red.
And George, might it be because of like South Africa, obviously with our emerging middle class, as our emerging middle class gets into the finance space of being able to buy cars, that's a good place to start? Or is it just a matter of people downgrading because of COVID and just the economic reality they're going into the second-hand car market?
Well, I think first of all, there's a shortage of new cars, so we've got to be kind of real about the silicon chip shortage. Vehicle manufacturers are very low down on the supply list for silicon chip manufacturers. Mobile phone manufacturers, computer manufacturers are higher up on the order in the chip manufacturing's customer set, and the reason is because cars don't use as sophisticated silicon chips, for instance, to operate your headlights or to operate other pieces of electronics in your car. And there's over 200 silicon chips in a car, but they do simple things. So whereas a silicon chip in a phone is much more complex. So the silicon chip manufacturers prioritize the mobile phone and the consumer electronics market.
And the chip that obviously has to go into Elon Musk and Zuckerberg's brains, obviously they would get the priority there because we know they're aliens. Okay, no, I understood exactly. That's a very, very, very interesting thing, which most of us, or at least I didn't know about it. I mean, Leigh-Ann, you from the South, the Oaks dig to put a chip in the old Ford and drop that thing.
I've got a chip in
yeah, exactly. All right, what else we got, George?
So and then here's a very interesting story in India. India brought us yoga, chess, and the USB key and buttons, believe it or not. And now the transport minister wants to make another step for humanity and replace the horn of a car, the hooter in South Africa of a car, with sounds of flutes or tabla or a violin. And he actually wants to make this a law. So imagine driving and you've got to, you're about to have an accident and you hear this violin playing.
Someone is busy reversing into you and you press your hooter and you get, wah, 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 wah. Look, I'm all for it in taxi hooters because I think it could be quite melodical. I mean, the amount of times that taxis need to use their hooters in order to gain attention and convey different messages about which direction they're traveling in, it could be quite fun. We could use a lot of that here.
It's funny how the taxis have created a language with those hooters.
Yeah, it's very true. But it's one thing doing it in South Africa. We think, I don't know, population of Joburg, what, 6, 7 million, 10 million, whatever it may be. I'd be interested to hear that work in India. So if you haven't been to Delhi, there's like 30 million people in Delhi. I'd love to hear everyone fluting it up. Those tuk-tuks fluting it up. Imagine that whole thing. You're going to need like a conductor, not just for the traffic, but no. If you hoot now, it's going to sound terrible. Our city's going to sound out of sync.
Exactly. Imagine that you probably gracefully go into the scene of the accident and think about yoga on the way. Anyway, I've spoken quite a bit about the Joburg Pothole Patrol, which is actually led by Dial Direct and Discovery, two insurance companies that are doing a really, really good job in fixing our potholes. Now, they have just recently launched an app, and if you go onto your app store and you look for Pothole Patrol, I've just posted the link to you.
Love a good app.
Pothole Patrol, very good app.
Yeah.
And you can now report a pothole, and it geolocates the pothole based on your mobile phone. So you can report the pothole, you can take pictures, you can upload it, and then they will prioritize the pothole repair based on what comes out of that application.
That's such a relief, because how many times, where these known potholes are and you make an effort to avoid them, but you're so frustrated because nothing's ever going to be done about it. Now you can actually do something about it. I think it's awesome.
No, it's amazing. We'll put that link in the episode description so that people have access to it. That's an incredibly important thing, by the way. You know, jeez, man, that is Awesome. George, you always bring, you know what I like is you always bring advice we can actually use. Sometimes on car shows, people talk about car stuff that only is applicable if you're like Mick Schumacher or Lewis Hamilton. But I love that like I can use this and I'm a moron. I love that. It works in my real life. It's flipping awesome.
Exactly. It's and we need to be useful because otherwise we're never going to get this country to where it is. There we go. That's it, Leigh-Ann. That's the one.
There it is.
Pothole
We
Patrol.
are on it.
Nice.
Pothole Patrol. Great name.
Very easy.
Oh.
Fill in your name, surname, cell phone number.
Bit
Give
of
it
alliteration
location
as well.
access. Very nice. A Pothole Patrol. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. All right, you got anything else for us, George, on this fine Friday? Besides, obviously, just you being here is great news for all of us because that means that we're actually going to get to enjoy things like, I don't know, spend time with our wives, husbands, family. So it's awesome. You bring the weekend, man.
That's it. Now the weekend can start, and that's all I have for you.
You're like the Father Weekend.
Father Weekend.
The Santa Saturday, Sunday.
That's
the
the Auto Central Power Pod. George, have a great weekend. The Auto Central Power Pod, of course, powered by Auto Trader, of course, with George Meany. And you can catch him every single Friday with us. Yeah, George, be well. Have a terrific weekend.
You too, ciao.
Leigh-Ann, to you, it's been awesome co-hosting. You know, this has been the GCS, and Gareth will be back on Monday, so it'll be
lovely.
Back to the person that everybody actually, Leigh-Ann, we both have to accept the person that everybody actually comes here for.
Yeah, we're the second prize, but
exactly,
but we knew that when we signed up, so that's
exactly. Leigh-Ann, it's been awesome co-piloting with you, and have a fantastic weekend. Whatever you're up to, I hope you have the time of your life.
Enjoy the marathon stuffs.
I will do. I will do. To all of you at home, I hope you have, honestly speaking, it's been an incredibly difficult time for all of us, but the sun's coming out. The economy, as Leigh-Ann told us earlier, spending is up. So good things are coming. Good things are coming. Have a terrific weekend wherever you may be on planet Earth. It's been an absolute pleasure. The GCS is out.